Welcome in, everyone, to episode 37 of SmolTalk! Miss Yumie here is still on mute, but I first would like to greet everyone who has come by today. Thank you to the first traveler in today, Yumie! And Migo, thank you for 32 months and tier 2! Jesus Christ, thank you so much for so much fucking support. I appreciate it. You've been one of the most, overt supporters I think I've ever met in a person. So, man, I really hope that you're taking care of yourself. And thank you, as always. Hello, Valk! Thank you for your chippy! Thank you for checking in, you two, and to Team Rainy. For folks who might be coming in and not understanding of how the Tavern system works, allow me to tell you by typing an !board. As you can see, my community is split into two teams. We have Team Sunny, who are bright and cheerful folk, while we also have Team Rainy, who are peaceful and chill. Please choose your team, and if you guys would like, help me interview my cute guest today. We have a TSUCHINOKO VTuber who is very, very deep into the lore of many things in both life and all kinds of mediums. I am so excited to get to know her more today and see what drives some of the content that she has put out there into the world. I also would like to give out a a big notice that we have been experiencing audio glitches throughout streams recently. They come in the form of, you will hear my voice clearly, but any music and the guest voice will sometimes appear distorted. At this time, I can't fix that, and I hope that you guys will bear with me as this is usually just very brief moments and should not take away at all from the overall vibes we got going. So thank you for your understanding. Okay. Yes, there's also YouTube for you guys, for not just you Twitch followers. You guys can also ask questions. I'm so silly, I linked the wrong one. There we go. That's the link to today's live. Oh, I just linked all my YouTubes. Ignore me. So this is also how you can vibe out over in the YouTube side. If you guys don't even want to worry about picking a team, you can also just ask questions over on YouTube by typing in !Q and followed by the question. They will then be featured on screen. I have been trying to get the questions to feature on screen for a while now, and I'm confident today it will go well. Today we will see viewer questions. So yeah, all right. okay, now I think it'll be time to see what Yumie has to say about herself. So please note, we also will not read much chat. I'm sorry, so many notes. Due to the nature of this podcast, I will ignore chat entirely. If we acknowledge chat, it is because the guest has chosen to do so. So please be respectful. Okay. Hello.
Hello!
Welcome, Miss Yumie TSUCHINOKO. Would you like to please introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. My name is Yumie TSUCHINOKO. I'm a Snake Lady VTuber who primarily streams on YouTube, actually. I do a combination of pre-recorded videos as well as live streams, and I try to make shorts when I remember to do them. But I love playing a bunch of different games. I'm most well known for my gacha streams, but I also play a bunch of cozy games. I love Monster Hunter. I love a whole bunch of things. So yeah, I'm just extremely honored to be on your show today. Thank you for having me.
Likewise. There has been so much I've actually been wanting to just kind of talk to you about, mainly because I understand that there's so many inspirations into your interests, I might say. And one of which I had actually you made a video about recently. We can touch on that, why not? You made a Monster Hunter video.
Yes, I did.
I loved it. It's crazy how relatable I find myself with it. Can you maybe give a summary to those who might not have, how dare they if they haven't seen this lovely video?
I appreciate the plug. I really appreciate that. So yes, I recently released a video on my channel talking about not just how much I love Monster Hunter, but how important it is to me as a person, because I grew up without a lot of access to video games in a household that was very much of the opinion that video games were for boys. And so I did not get to touch them at all. So I started seriously gaming as an adult. And I was worried that because I didn't have like 20 plus years of video gaming under my belt, that like I would just never be able to play something like Monster Hunter, which honestly requires a lot of like quick reaction times and the ability to use a camera without completely fumbling around. But yeah, the Monster Hunter was a series that showed me that no, you can just like, as long as you put in the time and effort and practice a lot, it's never too late to pursue something that you enjoy. And yeah, it's been, gosh, when did Monster Hunter World come out? 2018. So it's been like, it's been like 7 years since then. That's wild, actually. That doesn't feel real.
Wild?
I feel like time is so weird. But yeah, that it's a very important video to me, just because it's talking about kind of how I got from where I was to where I currently am, which is like, I think that I'm competent at Monster Hunter now. I think I'm like pretty competent at it, which is great.
It feels good.
For that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being able to be good at something kind of helps you really lock in on what you feel fulfilled from. So seeing it, it's not just Monster Hunter. I think you've felt this from. You want to talk about some of the other things?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a bunch of games that I started trying as an adult that really made an impact on me. I know, like, I had a couple clips in that video from Persona 5, but that was one of the big things that I picked up as an adult, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. I had never played any of the Persona games before, but I finally had access to it, and I just like devoured it. It was so much fun to play. I loved it. I'm a big fan of turn-based games, so Persona is like exactly up my alley.
Oh, so a little bit of a tangent here. Who did you romance anyone?
Oh, I sure did. So here's the thing. I was really upset that I couldn't romance my best friend because he was just the best. I loved him so much. Ryuji was just like, I don't know. I was like trying to find a way for the game to let me date him because I'm like, the two of them are perfect together.
You are actually hilarious. I love that. You are the rare best friend lover. It's like that scene in Gekkan Shoujo. Have you seen Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun?
Oh my god, I love Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. Holy shit. Oh my god. I love that anime.
I bet that scene with the best friend moment must have really resonated with you.
Yeah, no, I was playing with my husband, who was my fiance at the time, and both of us were just like, Ryuji is clearly the best boy. Like, he's the superior character. Why can we not date him? Why do I have to date everyone else?
I'm so sorry that opportunity was taken from you. But
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It was, I think the person I went for was Futaba, because she was wonderful.
Okay.
I loved her. I thought she was just like a really endearing character and just someone who like I related to in a lot of ways too. And so I'm like, I like you. You're super cool. I got really close to dating Anne though, because she was also really awesome. But yeah, because I couldn't date Ryuji, it was fine. I went for some of the other characters instead. It was all right.
Don't worry, artists got your back. I'm sure there's some fanfics out there.
The artists always have my back. They're drawing the ships that I wish would happen in canon, and it just it makes me happy.
You know, I tend to tangent, so please let me know if you'd like to like wrap up thoughts. But speaking of drawing and art, you are a self-made VTuber who's went out of their way to draw and rig. So I wanted to know, like, how is that process for you? Did you like it? Would you do it again for like someone else? Because some people go down the business pipeline for that too.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad you mentioned that because that was something that I'd love to talk about. So yes, I made the foolhardy decision to illustrate my own model and at least this like 1.0 version, I rigged it myself. That was the part that was maybe foolhardy. I feel like I should have hired someone. It might have been a little better because it was a lot of work. I ended up watching a lot of live 2D rigging animators, just trying to understand like how did they make them move? How do they make everything look okay? And I followed a bunch of folks, especially the live 2D animator that I followed the most, like when I was first rigging this. Her name is Kanbutsu Himono. She's a Japanese animator who does really, really solid work. She's
the Bob with the glasses?
Yes!
She's so good!
Oh my God. I love her so much.
Yes, good choice.
Yep, no, she's amazing. After I found her and like after I rigged my model, then I found like some of the other gods of the live 2D animation world. So I found Celia and Cho at that point, both of whom are just like godlike. I don't understand how they do shit. But yeah, it was a lot of work. Just putting together. So for folks who aren't familiar with like how live 2D works, it's the thing that's allowing us to move. The crazy thing and something that is absolutely wild about this software is that all of what you are seeing is technically just a flat image. It's all one flat image. This isn't a 3D model. It is all based off of an illustration, and the illustration is what's called cut into like hundreds of layers. So my hair, for example, like I've got the middle bit, like where my bangs are with my cute little like markings on my forehead, like that's one piece. And then I've got like other pieces of my hair so that you can have them all move separately. But the crazy thing about live 2D is you take a flat image with a bunch of layers on it, and then you like as the person who's like animating this to make it move and talk and all that stuff, you are like deforming the image so that it looks like it's turning, which requires like a decent amount of knowledge about like what something looks like when it turns. Like, what does a face look like when it turns to the side? What does it look like when it turns up or down? What does a body do?
This tests your object permanence so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. And then like once you've got like the base like movements down, you can like put that into the system of like, okay, so here's what the face looks like when it's looking straight on. And then I have deformed the face and the hair and the body in a certain way when it turns to the left or right or up and down. Then there's an additional parameter called physics. I know, crazy physics. It's actually showing up in
this is where it gets good though, okay guys?
But yeah, it's something where it's largely pendulum based. So you can like tell the live 2D program, I want this to move X amount. And generally a lot of live 2D rigging animators, they have a lot of physics parameters that are very detailed so that things move in like a somewhat believable way. But then this is kind of where a lot of live 2D riggers go crazy because they just have like a free reign to do a bunch of physics things. So that's why you'll see some models that are really bouncy. You'll see some models that like move in certain ways. All of that is completely dependent on the animator. So yeah, it's super cool.
I'm so curious on what were you visualizing? What were you aiming for when you were making yours?
Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to be a snake person because it fits really well. I guess this is like parting the veil behind the scenes.
The lore.
But like I as a person am very cold all the time. I'm constantly wearing sweaters. It's a running joke in my household that I am just cold-blooded. As well as like whenever I consume popcorn, I just kind of like unhinge my jaw and popcorn goes in. So for a long time, it was a running joke with my husband that I was not just cold-blooded, but that I was like a snake of some kind, just like nomming down popcorn whole. And so I was like, that's a lovely idea. I should roll with that. And I can actually, hold on, I can probably, I don't know if now is a decent time to show off my
Please,
snake tail.
yes, you are free to do that. Let me hear. Yay, table is off.
Okay, cool. Ooh, I'm tiny now. Ta-da!
And she's not just any snake, by the way. She's a special type of snake.
Yeah, I'm a TSUCHINOKO. I've always loved TSUCHINOKO. I think that they're a very charming cryptid. They're just this adorable fat snake that like folks are trying to find in the wilderness. I think that like it works out nicely too because TSUCHINOKO have this really cute like they're really chonky and then they have this cute little nubbin of like the end of their tail. So that's what I've got going on here. So I've got like adorable chonky tail and then I've got like tiny little bit of the tail at the very end to really like go with the TSUCHINOKO bit. So yeah, this it's funny. I actually am a lot more comfortable illustrating like animals and backgrounds and things like that. My background growing up was I'll come back to the table next to you.
Okay. It was getting so cold. Oh, true. You look so cozy. Thank you. Oh no, her audio. Yes, I'm sorry. Her audio does it. Her audio does a thing. Just it'll pass. This too shall pass, everyone.
Yeah, no worries. Should I wait for a little bit? Wait for it to get a little better.
Yeah. So sorry, this will happen repeatedly. It's only started happening within the past couple of months, and I've only narrowed it down to OBS and my audio system. So it's more
weird.
Yeah, I'll figure it out one day, everyone. But it always goes away. I hope so. By now,
no worries.
Yeah, I think it's good now. Okay, but I did forget what we were talking about. TSUCHINOKO,
no, you're all
cute.
good. I could talk about art and stuff.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to be a snake, and I knew that I wanted to have sweaters on. My favorite color is red, but I also love purple and pink. So like this alternate outfit, that's why this has purple and pink with it. But yeah, that made it a lot easier when I was trying to design things because I could just focus on trying to make the sweater look as cozy as possible. And then I wanted like some sort of markings on my hair that would match my mascot so that the two of us would look kind of similar to each other.
TSUCHINOKO!
So, yeah. But yeah, right now, God, here's the thing. So you asked if I would ever like consider doing this like for other folks. I absolutely 100% have. The thing is, I have like a bunch of stuff I've been doing behind the scenes preparing for like my 2.0 model, which is like a whole other story we could talk about. But while I've been doing that, I've been honestly like for the last 2 years, I've been pretty slammed doing a lot of like work behind the scenes and stuff. I used to take art commissions, but I had to stop those for a little bit just while I was focusing on the channel. But I'm hoping that at some point I could actually open them back up again. And I don't know, it's wild. The thought of actually being like a VTuber parent is kind of amazing. Like, I don't know. I think that would be super awesome. I'd have to figure out like how I would want to do that, and it'd have to be like selective and whatnot. But I think that like the invention of VGen as a platform, it's like this place that was made within the last year where a ton of artists are all on VGen. And VGen is just amazing because it's so easy to find artists, and the platform is really good at protecting artists and making sure that like you're not going to be scammed by clients and things, which was like the #1 reason why I was really hesitant to open up commissions, is I just didn't want to deal with that. Like it's a whole hassle having to like the worry that someone is going to like try to scam you on PayPal, or like chargebacks are like the #1 fear for a lot of artists. That's just not an issue on VGen. Like it's really robust. It's good at helping artists connect with clients. And if I could actually get onto VGen, I could probably start opening up commissions. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
You do say you're...
That's a great question.
Yeah, you mentioned you're pretty backed up. I don't imagine this is going to be anytime soon. Do you have like maybe an estimated like, oh, maybe in about a year or so?
Yeah, that's the hope.
Okay.
That I could actually, yeah, it's funny. My community members have been asking me about it for a while. Like my channel members have been like, yo, if you ever open up commissions, I'd totally do it. I'm like, damn, all right, well.
Your art is seriously really cute. I don't blame them at all.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I ended up, I really wanted, because like as much as I have liked my current model, there were certain things where like I as an artist know that I cut corners just because I was trying to like actually get a model out in a reasonable amount of time. I know it sounds kind of silly to say, but like the texture of some of my like sweaters and stuff, or like even the scarf and whatnot, I'm just like, oh, I could have done better. I could push that even harder. I could make it look even softer and fuzzier. So I ended up like over the last year, I've been working on a 2.0 model. So the model itself like is illustrated. I hired a professional live 2D animator, which is crazy. Yeah, that was actually wild because like for a while, like a huge reason why I picked up live 2D in the first place was just like kind of as a cost cutting measure because it's expensive to like hire someone to rig your model.
It's crazy.
And yeah, no, and like at the time I was over here just being like, man, I don't even know like how much I'm gonna invest into the channel, you know? Like I'm doing this as a hobby. Do I really want to pay someone a ton of money when I can just like sort of do a middling job myself and then if things work out later, I could do stuff. And yeah, essentially that's what's happened is that like,
how long ago was that?
Yeah, it's been, I was thinking about that the other day. It's been about 2.5 years now.
Oh my gosh!
I know,
What
which
a
is crazy. So yeah, I have been saving up stuff from the channel because of very kind donations and views and everything from folks checking out my content. And I have finally like sprung for an actual like professional live 2D animator. This is what they do. This is like their entire job to actually make my model move. So yeah, I'm super excited. I feel really happy with how that model turned out. It was funny because when I was putting it together, like I really leaned on my husband a lot where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be spending a decent chunk of money on this animation. I need to make sure that like my model looks good, you know, that like I won't have any regrets. So like I think like just the sweater texture alone for my new outfit, that was like multiple days of back and forth of like, okay, what do you think of this? And then my husband Bear is just like, I think you can push it even harder. I think that you can like go more with like a knit texture. So I think like the final sweater that I went with for that new outfit, it has, I think when I counted it out, it was like 7 layers just for each part of the sweater. Like base layer, shading, highlights. Then I have the like knit texture itself, and then I've got 2 extra layers that are like a bunch of like fluffy bits and stuff on them. Yeah, no, it's insane. It's absolutely crazy.
You don't have to be open about it, but do you know how much that rig costs for your 2.0?
Yeah, it costs a couple grand.
Oh my god! How did you reason this with your husband?
Yeah, so I knew that I was hiring someone who was like really, really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Because I was like, at this point, if I'm going to go big, I should hire someone who's really good at this. So I sat down with my husband and I showed him like all of the like previous rigging work that this person had done. It kind of helped that my husband was already like I've dragged him into the rabbit hole with me with YouTubing.
He's a fan as well. Oh, yeah, no, I need to know all about this.
I've dragged him in with me. And so he watches people and he was like, man, who did the animation work for this person? Like, I'm really impressed with how this looks. And I'm like, I know, right? It's this person and they did this thing. The short version is that, like, because I had to do like a lot of live 2D stuff myself, like I ended up following like a ton of different riggers and things just to see like what sort of stuff they were doing. And
That's
so they
actually...
were oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I love that because it sounds like he was paying attention to all the work you put through in your model, and so he was able to point out when something was like really well done. He's like, oh yeah, so that connection's there. He seems so loving. I love that.
Yeah, like it was really nice when we were figuring out who I was going to hire. I actually had a list of 5 people that I was looking at. So we went through and like kind of ranked pros and cons of like cost versus like what I would get from hiring someone, as well as like places where I was willing to compromise, because every animator has areas that they excel at and areas that they are less comfortable with. The number one priority for me was that someone would be able to handle my tail, because that is sort of, yeah, a lot of live 2D animators are used to working with people who have legs, and I don't. And from my perspective, when I animated the tail, it actually wasn't that hard, but I know that some people see the tail and they're like, oh God, I don't want to deal with that. So one thing that helped me a lot was that I don't want any dumb, I shouldn't call them dumb, but I don't want any dumb fancy toggles. There's a lot of things nowadays that folks...
I love you. You're so right. I was ranting so long ago when, like, why do we have lean-ins? When are you gonna do that? Why do we have all these animations? You're just gonna play Minecraft. Why would you need to wield out the god of power? Yeah, sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, no, you're so right. So like, it's crazy because it's a ton of work for the animator to do, like all these fancy things. So whenever you see like a live 2D model walking, or if you see them leaning forward, all of that is like...
It's incredible the amount of deforming and time. So like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts, and it's just exhausting for animators to do. They're actually getting to the point where a bunch of live 2D animators are refusing to do those toggles because they're like, this is not worth the amount of like pain this is going to inflict upon me. I will not do this. I think that like the midpoint for me was that I did want to pay for something called V-Bridger. It's like, for folks who aren't aware, it's a better way of tracking your face and your mouth. So you get a lot better expressiveness from your model. It does take a lot of work. It's a lot of work for animators to do, but it's not nearly as bad as like some of the other things. So yeah, I didn't have like any fancy toggles or whatever, which made things a lot easier for the animators that I was looking at. But
still,
yeah,
2,000 though. Holy.
Yeah. No, it's a lot. Here's the thing. There are plenty of extremely talented animators who
are under that.
Yes, who like don't. I think they should be charging more.
Woody? Yes, sorry.
I'm shocked that they're not charging as much as they are. Like, I was looking at some folks who were like doing live 2D models for closer to like $1,000 or like $1,500.
I see.
But then there was, I just like loved the work of a couple of these professional live 2D animators. I'm like, oh man, what do you think, Bear? Like, let's weigh like the cost benefit of this, because like it is an investment. And the way that he ended up, he ended up just like, before I even was able to like do too much of a pitch, he's like, it's an investment in the channel. Like, it's something where like
you can write it off. Depending on where you are.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it's an investment in the channel. It's something that like is really important to you, that you want to do. And like, it's not something where like you're going to be doing this every year or whatever. Like, I'm going to have this model for a long time. And he's like, let's say like you pay for this model and then you have it for like 5 years. That ends up breaking out pretty nicely across like the lifespan of the model. And then like you can always look at once you actually have like a base model that's actually animated and everything, it's much easier to like go back to that same animator or even someone else and be like, hey, so I've got this base model.
Mhm.
Could you animate this new outfit onto it? Or something like that. And that's often a lot cheaper if you have alternate outfits. Like, as long as you've got like the base model and everything, it's a lot easier to then like replace it with an outfit or something like that. So yeah.
I love how invested you're. I know you call your partner Bear, but just so that people who might not know, Yumi is married, and I too have a partner, and so I share a lot of my content creation with him as well. So
That's wonderful.
I love
amazing.
hearing you talk about it so in detail is so nice. I want to know more about that I guess that initial introduction, because when I introduced VTubing and streaming to my partner, he was very not repulsed, but he was like, oh, but those people, they get real into their own heads and get narcissistic or whatever. And I'm like, I don't blame you for that, but
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, I think that like the onboarding to VTubing still is like, to be fair, I guess like some folks are also like this about content creation in general, and I don't like blame people at all for being like concerned about it, because there totally are content creators that like are in it for less than like, I don't know, good
stellar reasons.
Like folks who are definitely non-trivially in it for like some sort of monetary gain. But like, I can tell you all as a content creator that unless you get absurdly lucky, there is not a lot of money when you're first starting out. It's definitely like a thing that you do as a hobby. And like for me personally, I think something that's been awesome about VTubing is that I really wanted to do content creation and streaming and that sort of thing. But I, for a variety of reasons, really like the anonymity of it. It's nice to like not have to like, I don't know, have to put on a makeup to be in front of a camera.
Absolutely.
You know?
You know what's crazy
Like,
too? Yeah. I just heard about the news of a woman who was basically she was lied about, but that lie got so wide and widespread that she got a bunch of hate mail. People knew who she was, and so it became very, very personal, something so small. And it was just because people knew her face and knew her name. So in my head, it's like, why would I ever give out that information willingly?
Yes, no, I could not agree more. I am a very paranoid person.
It's good to be cautious. Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's very awesome that VTubing exists. Like, you don't have to have like a live 2D model. Like, you can VTube as like a PNG tuber, especially nowadays. Like, those GIF tubers look so good.
Honestly,
like, oh my god.
You can do so much. I had a guest the other day that paid $700 for a PNG tuber, but it was so much more expressive and like accurate to the I guess depicting emotion than I feel like live 2D does, because with live 2D you have to practice tracking and puppeting, but with PNG tubing you can lock that shit in. So VTubing is so accessible, so fun.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And like there's folks who use like 3D models that are like really, I mean, the shit, like the fact that Vroid is just a thing now. Like so many people, it's so easy. Folks can like make their own avatar, and as long as you've got 3D model tracking, you can just like start VTubing with that. I feel like there's a lot of really accessible ways to do stuff. I mean, oh my god. Okay, talking about accessible stuff, it's really cool because like I feel like this like community has grown a lot over like the time that like I've been watching it, and like it's really nice to see, you know, like it's awesome to see there's so many customizable models now that are really affordable because they know a bunch of folks will grab them. Like Suika had one where it was like, I think it's like $150.
Absolutely.
But like she had it programmed with VBridger, so like it actually has like the really cool facial expressions and everything. And there's a bunch of other animators that are releasing these really cool models, and I don't know, I think it's a great like period of time to be a VTuber. I think the only thing beyond that really is just like connecting with folks and helping them to understand like what VTubing is, why it exists, why folks do it. I think there's still like some folks who like look at VTubers and they're like, oh, well, they are, I don't know, VTubing because they don't want to show their face. And you're like, I mean, yes. I mean, yes, that is true. But also, I get to be a cute anime girl, and why the hell would I not do that? Like, it feels like a win-win. I get to have anonymity and I get to have a cute avatar. So I'm glad that like the general like perspective is shifting a lot more. But yeah, no, there definitely is like an onboarding to that. It's a funny, so my husband and I actually found out about VTubing from my husband's sister. So my sister-in-law, she was really into Hololive, and she reached out to me and was like, Yumie, you will love this. You need to go and watch these girls. I think you will love them. And so I went and watched them, and she was right. she was so right.
Was it just the Hololive girls?
Yep. So when they first debuted all the way back in the COVID beginning times, all the way back, I think it was like October 2020.
Back in my day.
Yep. Yeah. My sister-in-law was like, yo, Yumie, you gotta go and watch this. And I watched Ina and I was like, oh no, it's all over. She's so adorable and she's an artist and I can learn so much from watching her streams.
Honestly,
it was good.
What a lovely introduction too, because they were the most diverse group of VTubers to probably grace a generation. Because following that, a lot of VTubers started following like themes and had more or less like some common traits. So I really think they are the pillars of what VTubing is today. Like music, drawing, gaming, and tech. Like they are so cool.
I know. I am so blown away by everything they've done. Like it's just really impressive to see. And I think that like that has helped a lot. Like from there, like that helped. Like I was able to show my husband all the stuff and he was like, wow, that's really impressive. How are they doing that? Like, how are they moving? Like, is it like a 3D model? And so then I looked into a bunch of stuff and I'm like, no, it's an illustration.
You looked into it.
Yeah, no, because I don't know. Both of us were like, how does this mechanically work? Like, are they sitting in front of a camera and it's tracking their movements? And like, yes, that is what's happening. Like, you either have like a webcam or an iPhone. iPhones have really, really good face tracking. So they're kind of like the gold standard for VTubing. But I mean, for the first, I don't know, year and a half of VTubing, I was just using a webcam. And then at a certain point, I found a refurbished iPhone and I was like, hell yeah, it's time. All right. Let's give this a shot. Let's see
how
it goes.
And now webcams are like really good at tracking and it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. It's so funny. Right as I change over to the iPhone, they have like all these releases in VTube Studio where they're just like, oh yeah, now you can have really cool NVIDIA tracking. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
That's wild. Oh my God, that's crazy.
You speak much like a VTuber who was, I guess you could say, just braving the fronts with everyone else. I love the vibes. You don't really see this kind of vibe from many other VTubers, at least in the kind that
that's sweet.
I just, it feels very authentic to see someone go through the process of figuring out how it works, how to make it happen. What made you stay? A lot of people will find at some point that the work isn't cut out for them and that it's a lot of like they aren't fit to be community managers and whatnot.
Yeah, I think, so for one thing, that's a fantastic question. For folks who are watching who might be interested in VTubing, I would highly, highly, highly suggest starting with something that is relatively inexpensive. Like, grab a webcam, grab like one of these pre-made customizable models if you want to try live 2D stuff, or you can grab a PNG tuber for very cheap. Same with Vroid, it's largely free. You just will have to get like some basic 3D model tracking and stuff. And that has gotten a lot more affordable in recent years.
Absolutely.
But like, please start out cheaply because you need to see whether you enjoy streaming or not. Like, you need to see whether you like it. Because if you don't, it's really not like you haven't invested too much in it, you know? Like, at that point, you can be like, I think I like watching them. It was fun to learn how it worked, but I don't have to do this. I feel really bad for like some folks who felt like they had to invest a lot at first in order to be like noticed or whatever. But like, that's just not how shit works, you know? Like a lot of it is really luck based. It's also who you end up connecting with, because like having connections with folks is great for like collabs and reaching out to other people's communities and stuff and just, I don't know, having a good time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like, so for folks who are watching, please, please, please do not spend a lot of money on a model when you are first starting out. If you like it, you can like continue doing it for a little bit. And then if you're at a point where you feel like you can make an investment, then you do that. But don't do that super early on. Especially with how many good models there are. The thing that like really I guess like cemented for me that I loved doing this, it was actually my community. Because like I really loved making videos and I really loved streaming. And like I could just talk and talk and talk about the things that I like forever, until someone stopped me. But actually having like a community that was just as excited as I was for stuff and like really liked listening to me talk about things and like my perspective on stuff. That was the thing that got me through like the harder times of like, oh my God, I have so much work that I have to do. Oh my God, this video is taking so long. Why does it keep crashing? I cannot believe this. Or
You
like,
edit your own videos too, right?
yeah, no, I, again, don't know that I would advise that. There's tons of affordable editors that exist. Like, if you want someone to edit your videos, you can hire someone. You don't have to be crazy like me. But yeah, I edit my own videos, which is crazy. When I was a kid, I really loved, I loved a lot of creative storytelling. So,
AMVs?
like, yeah, like creating my own little like home movies and stuff, but also like writing creative stories and fantasy and things like that. And I don't know, I think that like that's something that I've wanted to like touch back on as an adult, because now I'm at a place where like I can actually afford better editing software. I actually, within the first year of VTubing, as a result of getting very, very lucky and like having my Blue Archive videos take off, I was able to afford a better editing software on my computer, which was great because I was using kind of this like middle of the road, it would often crash on me and fight me software.
Are you comfortable with naming them? Because I use DaVinci Resolve. It's pretty fine. I hear people claim certain applications crash more than others, but I'm not sure if that's, yeah.
Yeah, no, DaVinci Resolve I think is fantastic. I use Filmora, and I have stubbornly kept with it despite some issues. I think that it's been largely good for the purposes I have. It was actually an audio editing software that I snagged because I was using just like Audacity on my computer for a while. And Audacity is fine. It's totally fine. But there were certain things that it just wasn't able to do.
Yeah.
So I ended up picking up some professional editing stuff for my audio, which has been fantastic, absolutely amazing.
Oh,
let me actually.
Can I have a pause really quick? Yeah, yep, our totally. Audio is cutting out. Audio cutting with timing.
Oh, no worries. Totally fine.
You guys are so sweet for telling me. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is okay now. See, guys, it always ends. Okay.
Perfect. That was fantastic.
Wait,
so yeah, that's been really good. I'm very relieved that now it is considerably easier for me to do audio editing, because what I used to do is I would just by hand do a bunch of audio editing where like the p sounds, like plosives, tend to like pop a lot when you're talking. And it's less of a problem for live streams, like folks are just kind of used to it. I still have a pop filter in front of my microphone just to try and help. It doesn't really help that much, but it's better than nothing. Like, it's fine. When I go back and record and listen to myself like talking though, there's times where I'm like, I can make that puh sound a little bit quieter. And when I was first starting out, I would just manually like find the puh sound on the audio and I would lower that. Like I would lower the volume of that.
No, for real.
Now, yeah, with this like better audio editing thing, I just like give it the file and I'm like, go,
do your
audio
thing.
editor, find all the plosives for me. Make them less loud, please. And it also does the same thing with removing like harsh S sounds.
I see.
Which is nice. I have a de-esser that's on my Go XLR. I think I have it set at like 50% or something. And that largely catches most of it. But occasionally, especially if I'm talking like really forcefully, like if I'm reading a line like something dramatic is happening, sometimes like the harsh S comes out and I'm like, ooh, all right, let's do something about that. And now the audio editor just like, I plug it in, I hit a button, and then it does all of this cool shit behind the scenes, and then it like gives me a file, and I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, it's beautiful.
It's
fantastic.
Perfect. It's everything I want. What have fun! You really have found a nice system for your videos, and that's so cool. And
yeah, no, it's been good. I am very relieved because for a while, I was making really, really long videos. And mercifully, I have made the decision because I hit a really good kind of like capstone point in my lore archive series. There is obviously more story after that, but I've been live streaming that for folks to check out. And that has, I think, been a really good compromise because, oh my god, those lore archive videos were absolute killer. Oh my god. It was so much work to put those together.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Oh man. I feel like, so when I first found you, I was looking into the Lore Blue archive, and you were one of the first people that popped up. Thank you for all your thorough investigations, and it takes a lot to compile like all because like they don't introduce a character in everything they do. They introduce parts and like foreshadowing and stuff, and you make it so cohesive. Like I can tell you like literally analyze how does it make sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's very kind of you to say. I really appreciate that. Like I put a lot of time and thought into like, okay, so like this is happening at this time. How can I like really flesh this out and explain like why this is impactful or what's happening here, why this matters, the X person is talking to a Y person.
Oh, please take us back. Don't make me start a new one. Oh, YouTube no streams are so hard.
I know, I'm so sorry. Especially you're like a simul streaming. You should still be okay with YouTube. Like it should still connect. I think
yes, no. Stream back. Okay, seems like everything's back. We're back. Wow.
Hello.
Welcome back. Thank you guys for that small little disruption. Well, that was actually just in time as well for probably one more question before we hit our break. But
Sounds good.
I'm so sorry for that. Do you have any oh, hold on. Let me see my notes. We have so many
it's all good.
Lovely thoughts. You have so many lovely thoughts. Little lovely trains of thoughts. I have.
That's so sweet of you.
No, you're sweet. I love how much you love explaining things, because it's not just a love for explaining. It's a love for building understanding. Because it's not the words you use, but it's the way you understand how people can take it, I guess. I feel like,
oh my gosh,
being able.
So nice of you.
You're so funny.
That is so nice of you to say. I actually, for a while, I was on track thinking that I was going to be like a teacher. So I spent like a decent chunk of time learning how to like explain things and like try to break stuff down. Like I did a lot of tutoring for folks when I was in high school and college and things. So hearing that I'm actually like able to communicate things effectively and like in a way that is helpful and nice to listen to is great. It's very kind of you.
Clear and concise language is so underrated. Okay,
I agree.
I would love to see more clear, concise language in lore videos of all things. So you are very, very, very such a gem.
Oh, thank you.
Yay! Oh, you said you wanted to be a teacher at one point. What made you stop?
Yeah, I was dying in academia. I was kind of going back and forth between whether I was going to be a teacher or a researcher. I was actually like halfway through getting my PhD.
Wait. I just remembered something. I've been waiting. My stomach has so many butterflies. I'm a conservation biology major.
No, really?
Yes, I remember hearing you talk about your studies as well, and why your Monster Hunter video tickled exactly in all the ways I love Monster Hunter, and I was like,
oh my god, that's amazing.
The ecology. I spent 2 hours just going around in wilds capturing all the endemic life species. Like, this is where you would find this one, and this is where you would find this one. So I can't explain how fun it is to see and meet you.
Oh my god, that is amazing. Oh my god, that's awesome. Oh my god, that's amazing. I so badly wish I could say the exact thing that I was getting a PhD in, but it is hyper specific enough that it would narrow down.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you.
Exactly which school I went to, but I will say that it was in a field related to molecular genetics.
Oh, so that is amazing.
So a lot of what I did was like lab work in a bench. But I also like part of the whole biology thing is you do a ton of ecology and like actually going out into the field
samples and stuff, field surveys and actual field surveys. Great. I'm like, hold on, wait.
Oh my god, that's so cool though. I love meeting other people who are also in biology. I think that's awesome. It's so great.
Because when you say biology, people usually think, oh, you mean like a doctor? No, the plants and environment, you know?
Oh my god, that's so funny. Now that you mention it, like I think like 2/3 of the people who were in the biology program were all gonna go and become doctors and nurses. Like all of them. They were like, I'm gonna become a doctor or a nurse. And I'm like, nope, I'm gonna go and look at fun things under a microscope. And I'm gonna stick stuff into a machine and it's gonna be like, ooh, here's where these genes are. And you're like, ooh, fun, I can do fun things with that.
That sounds like something you could even go back to one day if you wanted. Like, that's so fun.
Absolutely.
Do you feel...
Yeah, it's... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please, come on. You're fine.
So I realized at a certain point that I did not want to do like long-term research or like working specifically at a university. Just because like the system behind it can grind you into dust. And I was just like, oh my god, I am just like a hot mess trying to like get through all of this. There's actually like a pretty depressingly high number of folks, at least in the United States, that they drop out of like master's or PhD programs. And I was one of those. I was one of those people who got halfway through a PhD and then I was like, you know what? This is not for me, and I am not going to continue spending more time doing this. But that is not to say that there aren't amazing programs for it or that there aren't amazing jobs for it. The fields that I would have been working in was really cutthroat, and I was pretty tired of it. Like, there were a lot of people who were like, this sounds kind of crazy to say so many years later, but like I actually had to deal with like lab sabotage. Like there were people who would like mess up your samples intentionally.
Your research? Like, they would actually...
No, it's crazy. Oh my god, the craziest people who are like really obsessed over getting into like... Obviously, a lot of folks want to get into certain journals and things, but it was just a really hostile work environment. I think if I had had like a really awesome like PI or someone who is in charge of the lab and like a really good lab environment, I think it would have been better. But the thing that really like the straw that broke the camel's back was that I was told that if I wanted to continue like doing research like as like a PhD student, I would have to be working like 80 to 100 hour weeks. And I would have to travel a bunch. Like the person who was in charge of my lab wanted us to go to multiple different countries that are not very they have laws that are not very good to women, and I was like, I'm sorry. You want me to go where? I'm sorry. You know that would be dangerous for me to do, right? Like, I don't know that that's the best idea. I don't like that there are places on this planet that are not great for women, but I am aware of them, and you want me to go to those places. And they're like, oh no, it'll be fine. There will be a bunch of other male researchers with you. And I'm like,
yeah,
nah.
I'm sure they'll be helpful.
I know, like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then, yeah, when that was like turned down, they're like, well, okay, well, you have to spend some time researching in a different place. And it was very arbitrary. It was like, I didn't need to go to these places, but they're like, no, it's part of this prestige thing. Like, you have to go to this other place. And they were like, if you want to continue your PhD, you're going to have to live somewhere else in the United States for like at least 6 months. They had proposed Washington, D.C. as one of the places. And I'm like, okay, y'all, I have a fiance and I share rent with him. I cannot just leave him high and dry for 6 months. Like, that's not how anything works. Also, I had to do long distance with him for a little bit anyways. I don't want to have to do that again. That was absolutely brutal. Like, oh my God. The long distance, it takes a lot of work. We did it for, I think, like 8 months at one point, because earlier on in my career, I did have to go to a place. And then they're like, oh, you have to go to another place. I'm like, nope, not again. I'm not doing this again. I had to do it for 8 months and it was horrible. It was really, really rough. And like having to like figure out rents and like trying to get everything coordinated with like a bunch of different things. I'm not doing this again. So for me personally, that was how my graduate program ended. Is I'm like, I'm tired of you all trying to ship me off to other places. Like, yeah. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired of how toxic our lab is and how awful it is to work with all these other people. So as long as you don't have an experience like that, I think that you will be set. And I think that just is like, I got unlucky with some of the stuff I had to deal with. I've had a bunch of very kind members of my community who are like researchers themselves, or they're in graduate programs and they're having a wonderful time. And that makes me so happy, because I think that the world does need so many more people who are passionate and excited about science. Yes! And even if it didn't work out for me, I now have a wealth of knowledge that I will spew at random periods of time on stream.
I'm so happy to see how you've overcome all of that. Like, it's hard, especially when it sounds like at one point that was like your dream. And so
Yep. Yeah, no, that was pretty rough having to pivot. I was like, what am I doing now? I've spent like so many years doing this. Like, oh my God. It was really hard not to feel like I had wasted a lot of time. But I think like the best way to look at it, like for anyone who ends up having like a really big career change, or like you change majors or something like that, it's not the end of the world. You've still gained a bunch of knowledge from that. Like, even if you're not going to be in that field, you now have a wealth of knowledge from going through all of that.
Absolutely.
And you're going to be a happier person. You're putting your own welfare above like arbitrarily sticking to the same thing. And I guess I can say that not just for academia, but like if you're working in a crappy job or something like that, there's like better opportunities for you out there, even if you've been stuck in the same situation for a while. There's nothing wrong with like going out into the world and doing stuff. But yeah, no, it definitely was an adjustment of like, oh, I'm not doing science anymore.
Sounds like the audio is dying again. But hold on.
Oh, no worries.
Good now? Okay, thank you so much. Oh, I love your community. Oh, my community as well. I know my community is lurking though, because I ignore them all the time. So, I love. Oh, there's so much I wish I could just dump onto the table here, but I think overall, all I can say is you seem so lovely in spreading.
Oh, thank you.
Overcoming such, I guess. I would not blame you if you had just left and thought all of academia was fucked up, you know? But instead, you look back and see you were a sponge. You saw it for what it was, and you moved on with all of that and more now. So in a way, you're such a strong person. I love it. It's so fun. It's so cool. I want to know more. But
thank you.
We are at our hour break because my ass does hurt.
Oh my gosh, are we really?
Yeah.
Wow. That flew by.
Yippee!
Absolutely flew by.
I'm glad. That means I'm doing my job well. But now
Woo!
I need to ask, would you like to chat with the community for 5 or so minutes while I go do my little break?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me pull up. I'm gonna go pull up
At this time, you guys, questions have already been in and out, but I've realized I don't know why the YouTube questions haven't been asked or entered. It's weird.
Yep, no worries. No worries. Let me go. I'm pulling up stuff.
If I refresh this.
There we go. Perfect. Oh my gosh. I can see people. I can see you all now. Hello. I've got both Twitch and I have YouTube pulled up.
Okay, let me just pretend. Oh, I'm a cute viewer. I want to ask Miss Yumie a question. Why you so cool?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, oh my god,
you're pretty cool.
You're so cool. My boyfriend and I have been hyping up this episode for so long. Whenever you responded to the email, I must profess, I was like, hands are sweaty. I'm like, babe, what do I do?
You know, I think that's so sweet that you reached out, because I think that it takes a lot of courage to reach out to like someone that you I don't know, that like you really want to talk to, and you're just like, oh my gosh, what if they're too busy? What if they like aren't able to do this or whatever? What if they think I'm weird? Like I constantly do that, where I'm just like, oh god.
There's more than enough reasons for you to just ignore and maybe even like, I don't know, there was no reason to respond or even interact. So the fact that you did and you responded very warmly, it was very, very comforting. And so you've made me very excited to reach out to people. After that, I just started sending so many fucking emails.
That's awesome. That makes me really happy. Well, I like when I went and watched I watched through some of the clips that you had on Twitch, and then I went and pulled up some full episodes, and you're just like a very thoughtful, well-spoken person. I was like, damn, she wants to talk with me? Okay. Sounds great. Awesome. So yeah, no, you should really give yourself a huge pat on the back. I really love what you do on this show. I think it's awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. What did we say? Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, I don't mean to keep you from your break.
No.
I'll chat with folks.
Okay.
Feel free to go, and then whenever, I don't know, if you come back, I can run off and get myself some more water and
yes,
stuff.
ma'am.
So
feel free.
no worries.
I would love to give people also some peace of mind. If you just want to leave them in silence, you leave them in silence. But okay, I will be back, guys, and thank you for being such a good audience so far. Toodaloo!
Woo!
Woo, 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 woo.
Hello, lovely viewers. I hope that you all are doing well. Thank you for being so understanding of all of the various tech issues. I know my community is very familiar with random tech issues, so thank you all for being very understanding. We were trying to figure stuff out, like, as we were getting set up for the stream. And poor Vespy was over here like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, the audio will cut out randomly, and I'm like, it's all good. It's all good. I had like a whole period of time where like my internet would randomly crash in the middle of a stream, and it was wretched. So, oh god, oh my god, y'all have such great. Am I allowed to answer some of these awesome questions y'all have? Oh, I want to answer. I'll wait. Y'all are asking them as questions, so. I'm like seeing stuff come in, and I'm like, oh, I can answer that. Oh my god, that's so funny. But yeah, no, y'all are so very sweet. Yeah, it definitely was rough to be in a hostile environment in the lab that I was in. I know I haven't talked too much about it, like as far as like exactly the circumstances that led me to leave. But yeah, it was a hot mess. Like, there was just a lot of people who viewed other people as competition, which was kind of sad, you know? Like, I feel like instead of looking at science as like a wonderful collaborative thing, it was kind of like a, I'm going to get this, like, I'm going to get into this journal no matter what. And you're like, I mean, but there was no reason to, like, there was no reason to do that. That's completely ridiculous. What are you on about? I don't know, man. I think that some folks, like, it's best not to view other people as, like, and nameless faces, I guess, you know? Like, it's good to remember that, like, people are people and everybody's got aspirations and dreams, and it's sometimes there are people who are extremely rude and will still try to trample over others, but I think that, like, trying to be as best of a person you can is just, like, a good way to live your life. It's very exhausting to be angry and, like, lash out at people all the time. So, like, I don't know, I feel like it's often just better to, like, try and be a good person. Oh god. Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. So I will say that this is, like, this does show up a lot in academia, right? And I think it's because of the way that academia, like, the reward structure that's there. Like, not everyone who's in academia is like this, obviously, but it is really cutthroat to actually get into journals, to actually get grant applications that are approved and everything like that. So yeah, it makes a lot of people really hostile towards each other, especially in certain fields. Other fields, or like the professors and things are not like this, which is great. But yeah, no, the area that I was in, everyone was like this. It was awful because it was a very competitive thing. There was some people who were doing some really, like, cutting edge research, and everyone was trying to, like, I guess, like, one up them. They were trying to, like, be the next ones to make really big breakthroughs. Like, you think about all the things that are talked about in genetics, like, just imagine, like, being in a field where a bunch of people are, like, just wanting to be the next CRISPR, or, like, wanting to be the next, oh, we figured out how to do this cool gene stuff. Like, I don't know, genetics in particular is pretty competitive. It was pretty rough, all things considered. It can be, especially, like, if you want to be a professor too. Pretty early on, I realized I did not want to do that because it is really, really competitive to get a job as a professor, and then they don't pay you, like, hardly anything. And then you have to, like, continually fight for your spot, you know? Like, the university is always looking to cut costs and things. And this is not to say that, like, universities are inherently bad. This is just, like, it's a reward structure thing, you know? It's like universities are incentivized to keep costs low so that, like, they can maximize, like, grant money and things like that. And they can also, like, not have to spend a bunch of money on extra professors and stuff. But it's rough because it means that, like, a lot of early, like, professorships don't pay a lot of money. And I'm not trying to say this as, like, oh, well, you know, I just couldn't be bothered if it wasn't worth the money. It's like a literal cost of living thing, you know? Like, I had friends who were professors and they would, like, walk me through their finances, and I'm like, holy shit. How do you live? That's crazy. Oh my god. So yeah, for those of you who are in college, like, be very nice to your professors. They work very, very hard, and especially, like, younger professors who are, like, people who are, like, adjuncts or, like, associate professor or something like that. Like, those folks don't have permanent positions at the university. And, like, they are under, like, a lot more stress as a result. So yeah, be very kind to your professors. They're trying very hard. Oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, the place that I went to, I actually, because of, like, the period of time where I was at a different college, doing, like, a study there, learning from the professors there. I did my studies at, like, 2 separate universities. one of which was in the United States and one of which was in Germany. That was when I spent time in Germany. So yeah, both of them were well known for making advances in genetics, and they were also very cutthroat for it. So, oh man, hello, welcome back. I was just telling them about that professors are not always paid the most. And have like a rough cost of living.
Yeah.
And I was telling folks who are in college to be very kind to their professors because they're under a lot of stress.
So much.
I would very much like for that to change, because I think that like people who are teachers do so much work and like put up with so much shit to try and teach people, and it would just be very nice.
Absolutely.
For at least my country to actually pay them an appropriate amount of money.
I think it's very unfortunate that because their main, like, they'll only have students to work with, and so in a way they kind of have to like also double up as parenting, because they have to learn how to like navigate someone else's like brain. Like any good teacher at least would be able to understand that like there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I also wanted to be a professor.
Yeah, it's one of those things where at a certain point you find out like how much money they make and how much shit they have to put up with, and you're like, can I put up with that much shit for that little pay? And some people are like, you know what? I am super passionate about teaching. I'm going to do it no matter what. And a lot of people look at that and they're like, holy shit, that is not worth. That is not worth at all. So yeah, that is my pitch for folks to be very kind to your teachers. Also, I saw a question come through from Omnia. I know there's some questions that folks were sending in, but you mentioned that there was like a weird like hiccup with the YouTube stuff.
So,
and Omnia... Okay, yeah, you go. Go for it.
Hair flip, I fucked up. The YouTube questions did not go through. I thought they would, but they didn't get locked in. But
it's all good.
You guys are still free to ask questions. I will do my best to point them out. If I can't get it to work, hold on. Small oopsie. Tiki Peril. I don't understand why it doesn't work though, because it was working before stream. So if it's before stream, why you no work?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Thankfully, it looks like on the YouTube side, they're repeating some of the questions from earlier. Yes. I saw some of them, which is great. Omnia had asked, what's a good starter mic for streams? Which I thought was really good.
Yes, please repeat those questions, and then we'll get to them as we can. For Twitch, you guys know what to do. Please follow a standard. But for YouTube, you guys are the special guests today. So, yes, what would you recommend for mics, Yumie?
Yeah, so a lot of folks start out with a Shure SM, I think it's the 7B, I think is what it's called. That was what I started out with. It's a pretty standard mic. I think it's a couple $100. Yeah, no, it's like what a lot of podcasters use. I actually didn't like it because you have to be really close to the mic in order for it to appropriately pick up your voice. And I tend to get really excited when I talk, and I can like range pretty wildly between being really loud and being pretty quiet. And being that close to the mic, I was constantly making it like pop and do other things.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who has like a calm speaking voice, I think that microphone is very good. But there's also a bunch of other like much more affordable options. I picked up, I think it's like a Blue Yeti mic. I picked that up for traveling when I went to Off-Kai before. I didn't need to physically go, but I physically went last year, and I did a meet and greet from the hotel. I was like calling in from the hotel, and I needed to have a travel mic with me. So I grabbed a Blue Yeti. It's a USB mic, as opposed to... like having oh my gosh,
a Shure, which
like
is
XLR, like XLR cables and things. I thought that mic was totally fine. In fact, Bayer is still using it. It's now his like office mic for when he has like call-ins for meetings and stuff. So I think it's much more affordable. I think that was closer to like $100. And it works super well. It's got like a little knob on it where you can try to filter out some background noise. So like it's got noise suppression on it, and you can increase or decrease the gain on it to make your voice louder or quieter. And I think it was pretty easy for us to use and like move around.
Wow.
But yeah, what do you use for your stuff?
I have an XLR mic, but like you said, we all start from those little lovely USBs. To be honest, I have been told a little bit differently, at least in terms of at least the Shure being very, like you said, it's very specific to, I guess, certain voice types and intended uses. So a lot of people actually are like devout Blue Yeti haters. In fact, yes, people will warn against many VTubers against purchasing that. So I think it's very amusing that you say this. I think this is a good lesson, though, that if it works, it works, guys.
No, exactly. Like, obviously, there's better mics that you can have, but, like, it's a USB mic, you know? Like, a ton of podcasters start out with Blue Yeti and they sound fine. Like, if you want your audio to sound better, there's better mics. I invested in a much better mic at a certain point. Once I had made, like, a certain amount of money on the channel, I purchased a microphone that is closer to $1,000.
For what you do, I don't blame you at all. I think it's a very lovely investment. Doesn't it feel nice?
It's one of those things where I wanted a mic that would do a better job at capturing my voice for videos and streams and things. But yes, no, it was quite an investment. It's a much more expensive mic.
I bet that didn't feel good on the wallet, but oh boy, do those streams taste a little better on the ears now.
Yes, no, exactly.
Let's see. Another question. We'll prioritize YouTube for now, guys, if you don't mind. Okay. Oh man, so many people came by today. Thank you, guys. Are there any stream or video ideas you'd like to do but haven't been able to do yet? Asked by Omnia.
Ooh, fantastic question. Yes. I have really wanted to write my own original work. It was something that I did a lot when I was much younger, and then like when I started the channel, I started out by like telling the lore for other video games and things. But truthfully, I really like to write things, and not just like, you know, the lore summaries or like retellings of stuff. Like, I like to write, and I think it would be really cool at some point to actually do my own original stuff.
What kind of story do you think? Now.
Yeah, it would definitely be a fantasy story. I am a sucker for fantasy stories.
I will
really
be there no matter what.
That is definitely something that is like very, very slowly in the works. I would not anticipate that anytime soon, just because of all the other shit that I'm doing. But like, yeah, at some point I would love to do something like that. I've been trying to like, I'm trying to like lower the scope for myself a little bit, like maybe going for like some shorter stories or something. But I think that would be really fun.
I think those. Yeah. Eventually, too.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're allowed to interrupt me, ma'am. I'm so happy to. But oh yes, let me move on though. I feel like I'm getting a little caught up in time.
It's all good.
Yeah, you said before that your lab environment was toxic, but not that they're intentionally sabotaging you. Why do they do that? Asked by Gabriel.
Yeah, so I was talking a little bit about that. I saw that come in during the break, and I immediately was like, oh, I want to answer this. So I kind of tangentially talked about it, but like to talk about that specifically, there are certain folks that are in, it's not just academia, but there are a lot of very competitive people who are in academia, and like, I never had someone obviously confess to sabotaging, but like I did catch people in the act of like messing with my experiments where they're like, this was in the way. I had to be doing something, and I'm like, you could have waited 5 minutes. You could have waited 5 minutes, and then that space would be clear. I'm sorry, but what I am currently watching you do is mess up an experiment that was running for multiple hours. Like, what is wrong with you? You couldn't wait 5 minutes. And I think that, like, that is the unfortunate mentality of, like, you just feel like every second matters. And, like, some people will just be like, this is in the way of what I'm doing, and I need to get this all squared away. So, like, I don't know if that person consciously recognized how crazy of a thing it was they were doing. But, like, that was not a one-off occurrence. That happened all the time. Like, I ended up getting really protective of, like, my lab space and, like, where everything was placed and whatever. And I got really paranoid about making sure that I was the one that was cleaning my instruments and, like, going through and doing stuff. So
if your boundaries are gonna get crossed, you gotta start adopting with those kinds of behaviors. I don't blame you at all. I'm sorry for that kind of stress, though. It's not a fun type.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. So I'm glad that I am not doing that anymore, because it was a lot of undue stress. There was the point that, like, it really broke me was when, like, the professors I was working for were pushing for me to go to DC, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I already went to Germany for like 8 months. I'm not going to another place. Like, I did my dues already. And they were just like, nope, you're going to have to do this if you want to continue your PhD program. And I just, like, I don't know. I just was talking with my then fiance, who is now my husband. I was talking to Bear at the time, and I just started crying. Like, I just, like, couldn't handle it. I was like, I don't want to go to the lab. Like, I don't want to do it. I really don't want to go. And he was like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's, like, you don't have to work in this field. Like, we can figure out an alternate path here. And yeah, I think it's good to have, like, I don't know. He really helped a lot.
I'm so glad, because these kinds of life events are so hard to like make decisions on your own. Like, having someone at least process it with you just makes it so much easier. And it sounds like Bear has been such a lovely partner to your life, and I'm so happy for you. So happy for you.
Yeah, no, he's been awesome. We've known each other since college. I think we've been together this year. I think Mark. Oh shit! Hold on, I can do math.
So college sweethearts.
Yep. I think it's been 12 years. Oh god, I am losing track of the. I have to, like, make, like, a calendar at some point, because I'm gonna start losing track of, like, the milestones. They're supposed to be like, oh, like, your 15-year anniversary, and I'm like, I don't know when that is. I have to, like, do math backwards to remember. It's been over 10 years.
That is so amazing. That's hard. A relationship is hard to maintain over a month. Let it be 10 years, and that's like many lifetimes, actually. Watching someone change as a person is really hard, but I feel like you two have a very healthy relationship. I'm curious.
Doing the best we can.
Yeah, for a lot of folks, having a relationship go through so many life events, I'm curious, do you have any advice for people who might need to... Let me take a couple steps back.
No worries.
I struggle opening up to my partner a lot, and a lot of the times, things that help me the most are ways of identifying miscommunications and stuff. And so I'm curious on, like, what are some of the issues that you guys might have gone through, and do you have any advice for people who could be in the same situation?
Yeah, so the two things that I think we've found are super important for, like, maintaining, like, just long-term good vibes and, like, communication and everything. For one thing, like, it is very hard and scary to open up to someone else. But I think that it is important to, like, get comfortable talking about things. You don't have to, like, especially when you're first dating someone, you don't have to, like, bare your soul to them, you know? Like, you don't have to be like, this is all of, like, my deep-seated fears and trauma and all of this.
Here are all my skeletons.
But there's, like, important things that I think are good to bring up. I think like something that has been really important for us though, and I think that like you'll find in a lot of like what I would say, I don't know, is this weird to say, like successful long-term relationships, I guess, is like a willingness to compromise on certain things, because it's important to like know like what is non-negotiable between the two of you. I think it's, yeah, so I guess it's the balance between what is non-negotiable and what are you willing to compromise on. I think even early on, it's not a bad idea to figure out what are the things that you find non-negotiable, because if that person is like on the other side, that's easy. You figured it out. That relationship is not going to work. I think figuring out like what things you're going to compromise on are like a lot harder and like takes a lot more time. But I guess what I mean by compromise is like a willingness to put yourself in the other person's shoes and see how something might be more important to them, or like be like, okay, so like this is something that like I really want to do with you. I know that like you're nervous about trying out like so like for us, like when we first started dating, I was very inexperienced with a bunch of food. Like I grew up in a household that did not do good food, and I was kind of scared about going to like new restaurants and stuff.
I get
and, like,
that.
Trying things out, which sounds crazy now because my community knows how crazy I am about a bunch of really awesome food. But like when I first started out, I was really nervous about going to new restaurants. But Bear was really good about like, it's okay, like I can make some recommendations based on things that I like or based on the things that I know you like. You can try out certain stuff. And the thing that was really good for us was that both of us would order something different and then we would each try each other's meal. So I would try some of his meal to see, because then if I didn't like it, like he was the one who had ordered it and I wouldn't have to like eat it. Yeah. So for a while, what ended up happening is we would go to restaurants and he would order something that I was too nervous to order. I would try a little bit of his meal and be like, oh, that's really good. Can I have more of that? And I feel so bad. Early days of Yumie and Bear, it was me stealing food off of his plate. So thankfully, we are now at the point where I actually order the thing that I know that I will like and that will be a fun experiment to try. I really love trying a bunch of new things. But yeah, that was like a really awesome early on, was finding a middle ground of like, I wouldn't say that I was a picky eater. I was a scared eater. I wasn't sure like what I could eat because at the time I didn't know like I had lactose intolerance and multiple issues with different foods that like had been undiagnosed at that point. And so for me, it was like Russian roulette of food. I'm like, what is going to kill me? I don't know. It felt completely random. So I was really scared about trying new food because I'm like, is this thing going to murder me? Am I going to die if I consume this food? And so it was really nice, like having like little bits off of Bear's plate and being like, oh, that's really good. And I'm not dying. I can eat that. And slowly we've figured out the stuff that I can and can't eat.
You just deserve a buffet every day of little bits of everything.
I also think this is just general life advice from Yumie. Eating family style, where you all like share your plates and stuff, is like the superior way to enjoy food. Like you should just do that. You should make a habit of doing that, like with your family, with your loved ones. You all should share food. It's a really awesome way to do it. The other thing, as far as like knowing the things that are non-negotiable, I think that's very important because it's not just important to be on the same page with your partner, but it's also helpful for you to know yourself better. What are the things that are non-negotiable for you? For me, it was children. I don't want children, like at all. I don't want to be with someone who will pressure me into having a child. And so he was the same way. And that was like, we figured that out very, very early on. And that was great because for me, if I was with someone who's like, oh, I'll just like talk her into it over time or whatever, like, no, that's not happening. And here's the thing. I think kids are adorable. They're hilarious. I have like babysat a bunch of children. I think they're very funny. I enjoy being around them. I am never going to have a child. I am going to be the cool aunt that gets fun presents for all the little kids, and I will not have a child.
If you did,
So,
or
yeah.
say you are an aunt and your little adorable niece or nephew says, "Oh, Auntie Yumie, I want to be a VTuber one day," would you encourage them or discourage them?
Yeah, no, I'd for sure encourage them. I think the biggest thing is that, like with anything that has to do with social media or being online, though, I would caution them a lot. Like, walk them through, because, like, it's not just being a VTuber, it's like interacting with people online. I think that there is a lot of harm that can be done, not just to kids, but like adults, like existing online. There's a lot of really shitty people that exist online that you will at some point run into. Like,
Inevitable.
they may not be interacting. Yeah, you won't be interacting with them necessarily, but like you will see them in the wild, and you'll be like, "What is wrong with that person?"
Yeah, and you need to know how to.
So rude.
Exactly, and it's just how the internet is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, but
yeah.
I think it's really common in people in this age range, and I don't know how old you are, but you sound very much similar to folks around my age. Parenting is just really expensive, and we don't got time or money for that. And also, would you feel like you would be wanting that if you had like those circumstances taken care of?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting point. Speaking of things that are expensive, raising a child is very expensive. There are certain countries that take that into account and make it much more reasonable to have children. Unfortunately, the United States is not one of those countries. It is very prohibitively expensive to have a child.
Hospitals, just a hospital visit. That's it. That's all it sucks.
Hospitals are crazy. Yeah, you've also got childcare is really expensive. So like if most people in my country, even like if you're a married couple, both members of the married couple are working. Because cost of living can be really high.
Yep.
And that means that if you have a child, like someone has to look after the child while you're at work. Some people have like relatives and stuff who can look over them, but that is not the situation for everyone. And so some folks have to pay for childcare, and that is extremely expensive. That's actually like a huge like debacle in our country right now. When I think I was 12 years old, there was a book that I stumbled upon in my library, one of my beloved places. I loved the library. It was my favorite place to go. I could just sit and like read for hours and hours. And there was a book that I read that was like aimed at kids my age, about this little girl who gets sent back in time, like to the age of like mammoths and like the Ice Age and things like that. And in the story, she meets like a bunch of folks who are like very like based around a traditional family. So all the women will have children. All of them will have multiple children and raise them. And all of these like little kids like in this society are all like carrying around dolls as if like they're like getting ready to be mothers one day. And the main character in this story, she's like, no, I don't want to be a mother, actually. I want to grow up and like have a career and like not like have this like, it's not to say that if you have a child you can't have a career, but like this girl in the story didn't want that. And I don't know, to 12-year-old me, I was like, wait, that's an option? I don't have to have children? Because everyone around me were very conservative, and they were like, this is like your life. You will become an adult and you will have a child. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know that I really want to do that, but like, I guess if I have to. And then I read this book as a 12-year-old and I'm like, what?
There's
I
more.
don't have to do that. Oh my god, this is a made-up story, but the character is like, I won't have a child. Can I don't have to have a child. So anyway, I, like, as an adult, have continued to hold on to that belief of, like, it's just not something that I'm interested in. Like, I am not going to be a mother. Yep. It dies with me. The snake line shall continue elsewhere, but my particular line dies here, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no reason.
Actually, yeah, a lot of people have said that particular phrase. It dies with me, and I think it's a generational kind of phrase in my head.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I just, like, I don't know. I want to, like, let folks know that, like, it is not mandatory for you to have children.
Just exist.
Okay. You don't have to. Like, I think that if you
can pass
want
on
children, then you should. But yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
No worries. Yeah. Let me go on ahead and actually let's try to speed up some of the questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yay.
Sounds good.
We have one question. It's phrased as a demand, but let me ask it. Who's your Kamiyoshi?
Oh my god.
Wait.
God.
I kind of want to make it a
hard question.
I kind of want to guess if you want to make it a guessing game. I feel like we have a lot of shared VTuber experience knowledge, and I should be able to guess this if you have one.
Oh, geez. You are welcome to go for it. Actually, I'm not even sure. I have, like, multiple people who I really love.
Let me try to guess let's play an association game. Can you give me, like, some hints that are loosely associated with them?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would say they are in Hololive.
Easy.
Yes. I have a couple of people who I really, really love
I know
that
you
are
said
not
Ina,
in Hololive.
But
Yep.
I remember seeing you Ame leaving and then
oh my god, yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. Like, the first generation of Holo EN is just, they mean a lot to me because they are, like, the people who inspired me to become a VTuber. And, like, they just, I love them a lot.
I love that. I wish there was a way to say that, like, they know you love them back too. You're a VTuber now. Like, look at that. That love is so hard. This is it ends with you, but imagine all the VTubers that will spawn from you one day. Like, I'm just so.
See, here's the thing. I will be here's the thing. Okay, so I know that I don't want any, like, real life children, but like VTuber children, that's fair game.
Oh my gosh! So if we become VTuber kids, you'll become a real you'll become their actual parent. I hope you guys don't mind being claimed on your taxes.
Oh my god, that's too funny. Oh my god. But yes, no, VTuber children are totally fine. Completely okay.
Okay.
Completely fine.
Kami. So you don't have a Kami, but you have a lot of Oshis?
Yes. I guess I could list off, like, some people who I would consider, like, people who I very much look up to. So I really love Ninomai Inanis. She's, like, the reason that I got into VTubing. I actually am low-key obsessed with Calliope Mori. My community has listened to me talk a lot about her. And I love her so much. I think she is absolutely amazing. I also am obsessed with Maid Mint. I've been obsessed with her for a very, very long time. I think she's just a very lovely person. Her karaoke streams made me feel like I could sing on stream. Like, she's just a bundle of joy and so much fun to listen to. And anytime that I hear her sing, I'm like, I could do that too. I could sing. She's just having a great time and enjoying herself, and I think that is just absolutely wonderful.
Your Christmas cover came out really cutely, by the way. You can't sing. I'm so happy. It's my Kamiyoshi.
That was what I was gonna guess. It's so funny. Oh my god, I think she is amazing. I love her. I love her so much. I think she's just, like, a really cool person who is, like, has been through a bunch of shit and, like, stands back up on her feet and does shit again. I really love Doki Bird also, and so, like, the two of them together make me indescribably happy.
Yay!
But, oh my god, their concert that they did, I'm so happy that they uploaded that to YouTube afterwards, because, like, oh my god, that was amazing.
Yay! And then the song they sing together in the cover, it's That's weird.
No, it's so wonderful. I also, if I'm like reaching into like the indie sphere, I guess like, I don't know, V-shoujo is like its own thing now. But I really, really love, oh, sorry.
Oh,
It was
you're
a very
fine.
loud car that just went by. I really love Iron Mouse a lot. I think that she's like an absolute inspiration to like people everywhere, especially like with how debilitating
now,
her
guys.
illness is.
It's fucking amazing.
It's so, oh my god, I love her so much. I think she has worked so hard to get where she is and is just like a lovely, lovely human being. It's good.
Valid. Absolutely valid. Thank you for sharing all the VTubers you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you follow any of the other English agency VTubers?
Yes. So here's the thing. Even though I adore Calliope Mori a lot, I am obsessed with like across the board, like a lot of Hololive talents. I adore. I love Holo Stars so much. I watch a bunch of their stuff. They are so wonderful. I've recently become obsessed with Crimson Ruse. I think he's a very funny, talented person. I love a lot of his shit.
I don't get his bad rep.
Oh my god, yes. I think that like Holo Stars is in an unfortunate position where like there's already kind of a bias against male VTubers because like a lot of the VTubers who first got big were female, and so there's like already this thing of like this idea that the female VTubers are the default, which I think is a little silly because like people can just exist. They could do their own shit. I'm really happy that like that is starting to change a lot over time. And I think it's good that like the male and female branches of Hololive are starting to interact more, because I think that like in a lot of ways they do tend to be like the VTubers that a lot of people look up to. And I think it's important for them to emphasize that like it is okay for men and women to be friends. Like, this is a totally fine thing for people to do. But yeah, like, some of the recent Hololive EN generations have been wonderful too. Like, I absolutely adore their recent gen. It's full of a bunch of people who I have followed for a very long time and are now part of Hololive, and they're interacting with each other, and it makes me so happy. In particular, Raura, the artist of the recent gen, I have been obsessed with her art for years. And so I am so excited that she's part of Hololive because she's such a talented, wonderful person.
I
love listening to her
she
streams.
was aiming for Hololive at all. So whenever she came back as Raura, I was I was like, whoa, you can sing.
Yeah, no.
Well, I know she could sing. I knew she could sing. I just didn't know she wanted to make covers regularly. Like she wanted to be an idol.
Yeah, no.
Look at her go.
Oh my god, she is amazing. It makes me so happy that she is doing so well. And then, oh my god, so Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame is just incredible. Her voice is unbelievable. She is such a funny performer. All of her impressions of other people continue to be amazing. Cecilia Immergreen, it just makes me extremely happy. She is just like a very funny, charming person.
Very thoughtful.
Also, the fact she was a live 2D animator. And so she did all of the rigging animation for her, I think it was their New Year's outfits. She did all of the outfit rigging herself, and it looks amazing. She did such a good job with it. And Gigi is a legend. She's just so funny. Everything she does is just like chaotic. And incredible.
She has one of the most fascinating Gatmoes I've seen in VTubing. Like someone who is so clearly a dork, but also highly like emotionally intelligent. I fuck with that so hard. She's so fascinating. She's a creature.
Oh my god, she's so funny. That September karaoke stream that she did is forever etched in my brain. I just like can't stop singing September now. I'm ruined.
She has so many weird karaoke's. Which one was that one? Is it the fruit one? Please tell me that was a free one.
So she did like this 7-hour karaoke stream in September, and it was just her singing September over and over and over. And just changing the tempo of it and changing the scenes, and it was the funniest goddamn thing I have watched. It was so good. There should be an upload of that still exists on the internet.
100%.
Tragically,
The original.
I think it's unarchived, which is a tragedy. But
well, I'm glad the memory is there in your heart.
Yep.
Maybe a couple more questions, but we are close. We are approaching the end of today's episode so far.
Oh my god, crazy!
Yes, I'm sorry for such a short time, but it's just so fun.
Fine. It's all good.
Yippee! Gabriel has brought up this gray steak story and is very keen on asking you to please explain it. So you have the table.
Of course, my community wants to hear. I have ruined them. I have ruined these poor people. So, yeah, I have told the gray steak story to my poor community, and now I am.
Wait. Are you guys still here? She's dead? Oh.
Oh, it crashed. I can't see you.
Oh.
No.
I can hear you, though. You're back.
Hello. I can see you again.
I can see you again. When I see you again. Hi, welcome back. I'm glad to see you. That was a very short hiccup, but okay.
It's like your computer knew that I was
that this was a cursed story.
It's like, no,
there
don't
was
do
quivering.
it. Don't do it.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I need to ask. The people have requested, so please.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just sorry for you and for your poor viewers.
Oh, gosh.
So I grew up in a household that did not do food at all. The food that was consumed, it was only technically food. And the way that I generally explain this is with the gray steak story. So, it's just one of my least favorite things I've ever consumed and had to consume on multiple occasions was a steak. It was an expensive steak. It was like $20.
Oh, like
for,
a ribeye.
Yeah, exactly. This beautiful ribeye steak that was taken and it was put in the broiler for 7 minutes on each side. Which is crazy. At the top of the oven with the broiler on, they're just blasting this poor piece of steak until it is just absolutely toasted. There is no seasoning on the steak, so there's no butter. There's no salt. There's no pepper. There's no anything that's on it. It's just a plain steak that has been put in the broiler. 7 minutes on one side, take it out, flip it over, 7 minutes on the other side, take it out of the oven. And then you cut into it to see if there is still any pink or any blood that comes out. Because if there is, you gotta stick it in the microwave for 2 minutes just to make sure that it's completely cooked through.
You ate this? You ate that?
And then it is taken out of the microwave. And the only seasoning that you were given for this horrible gray slab that is so tough, it is a knife can barely cut through it. You were given seasonal, which for folks who do not live in the United States, seasonal is this I don't know, catch-all orange seasoning of seasoned salt, and you just cover the steak in that. Absolutely cover it, because otherwise it doesn't taste like anything. So you were just eating a gray receptacle for seasonal is all that you were doing. So you were just consuming this and you're like, yum, this is so tasty. Yes, thank you. Ah, yes. I must consume this for sustenance. Oh my god.
When did you learn that was not how you should survive?
When I met Bear, one of the first
when
things...
When you were in college?
Yeah, when I was in college! I was 20 years old old, 20 years old. And Bear, for like one of our first dates, this man.
Everyone say thank you, Bear. Thank you, Bear. Everyone type in TY Bear. Thank you, Bear. Thank you for your service, Bear.
He loves to cook. And so he made steaks for one of our first dates. And I was looking at it and I was like, it has color. It's brown. What did you
Yumie
do
seen
to
color
it?
for the first time.
How did you accomplish this? I was like watching him make it and I'm like, you're putting it in a pan? Why? Why aren't you putting it in the oven? And Bear was like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, he's like, I could reverse sear it, I guess. And I'm like, what's a reverse sear? And he's like, oh no, what have you been eating? So like he serves this steak to me, this like very beautiful medium rare steak. And I started crying, like just in the middle of our date, I started crying because it tasted so good. And he's like, oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I just didn't know that steak could taste like this. I think I've been lied to my whole life.
I would cry too.
Yeah.
Yumie, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Thank you for sharing your very.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't know. I was a very sad, horribly, frighteningly skinny child.
Did you cook that steak for Bear at all?
No. Oh my God. Here's the thing. Like when I just described it to him and he was like, I need to help you. I'm going to have you taste good food. And that was what started our journey of like going to restaurants and me being like, I'm scared. What if it's like the gray steak? Am I going to die? And Bear's like, no, it's not like the gray steak. I promise. There's actually good food that exists. Yeah, exactly.
I'm so happy. What's your favorite food right now, Yumie?
Oh my God. I am obsessed with Indonesian food. I think that it is extremely good. Every time that I eat it, I am obsessed with the way that you folks do rice. I think it is the superior way to do rice. It tastes really good. I love all of the curries and like tasty things that you do with meat. I think it's incredible. I love like fried coconut donut stuff that I ended up having was really good. I wish I could remember the name for some of this stuff. The thing that I really loved was rendang, though. I think that it's like a really rich kind of curry-like dish that's very, very tasty. So that's probably like my favorite thing. I'm a really big fan of a lot of Southeast Asian cooking.
Let's fucking go!
It's so good. It's really good. I think that it's really tasty, and the things that y'all do with spices are amazing. I love it to death. Probably second favorite would be, ooh, God. After Southeast Asian food, I really, really love Latin American food. I think that it tastes really good. I am still a bit of a wuss, and like really spicy things still kick my ass, but I will try them all the same.
Yeah!
I will still try them, and they will be very good. I have come to adore like street food a lot.
Oh
like,
my God,
a lot
yes.
of Latin American street food is just insanely tasty. It's so goddamn good.
What a full life you have now that you've joined the surface. I'm so happy. Yeah! You have so much to still see too, and you've seen so much already. I'm so excited to see what you have in store. Oh, unfortunately though, I do think it is time to wrap things up. But
oh my gosh, crazy!
Yeah,
all right.
I have to ask: is there any like shout outs, any promos? You have this is your spot to just talk about anyone that you feel like deserves a shout out in any sort of capacity.
I mean, obviously Vespy.
What the fuck?
Is. She's insanely underrated, and like I would love for more folks to check out your stuff. I think your interviews are awesome and very thoughtful and like really cool. I learned a bunch of stuff listening to them. I also would, folks will know that I will also shout out my beautiful Aussie ladies, Firozera and Rosetta. Both of them are wonderful. I love them to death. They are so kind and so funny, and I'm going to play more Repo with them at some point.
Let's go! Can I know how I can shout them out? Are they YouTubers as well?
Yeah, so both of them I think are on Twitch, actually.
Twitch? Okay.
So I will, hold on, I can send you how to, let me go to
Thank you!
We've got this very kind, Firo Zara and Rosetta. Is that my neighbor? I think my neighbor is mowing their goddamn lawn right now.
That's
what
okay.
are they doing? That's so loud.
I hope
That's
that they're
crazy.
not dying. Okay.
Same. Oh my god. I just heard this rumbling. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It's a damn lawnmower. The grass is barely sprouted. And they're like, it's time. It's time to mow the lawn. And the grass is going to die immediately if I touch it.
It's
But
time.
let's do it anyway.
Rose does cross streaming. Oh hell yeah! Multi-streaming
Yes,
is
thank you, Omni.
hard, man. Do you think you'll ever multi-stream?
I have thought about it. Maybe it's maybe. I don't really understand a lot of the shit with Twitch. Plus, I already have a couple of very kind moderators who have their hands full dealing with my YouTube streams. I feel like if I did Twitch, that would be crazy.
Absolutely. If you
it
don't
would be a
feel,
lot to deal with. So.
yeah. I find that it's hard to justify multi-streaming a lot, but then I see that there's a lot of bridges to have still. I don't know. I like having it accessible, so I don't mind doing it. But for a lot of people, I can totally see why it's not worth it. So yeah, I'm just happy to know that. Yeah, I'm happy to know you're gonna be around for much longer, and streaming is something that you. Okay. I'll end on one more question. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, any more promos? I'm so sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all
Okay,
good. Only other promo that I've got, I've already kind of mentioned, is that I will have a 2.0 debut this summer. It's going to be happening in July. I'm doing weekly drip marketing, just like my beloved Hoyo games. Just like showing off like cool art previews and lore previews and stuff. That Monster Hunter video is like the first part of that, because it's like a preview into my lore and like what got me to where I am right now, and I will be like expanding on some of that during that 2.0 debut, which I think will be awesome. So yeah, come and check that out this summer. It's gonna be great.
I'll be there. And okay, thank you so much. This is my favorite question I asked, but I haven't been asking my guests lately, so I feel so sad. I'm gonna bring it back with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's say the stars and moon align and everything is as you wish. You have the perfect life. How would your everyday look from when you wake up to what you eat from day to day? Like, what kind of activities would you want your life to be filled with?
Damn. That's a great question. So I would be doing this full time. I'm currently only doing it part time. But I'm getting much closer to it actually being something that I could do, which is really awesome. But I would be able to afford to do this full time. I would be able to afford a bunch of fun like animations for like song covers and like original stories and stuff.
But we get
but
a
I guess
Yumie concert one day.
That would be amazing. Holy shit. I think I'd just like have a mini little freak out.
Would you have
just,
legs?
that's the thing. I think for a while I wasn't sure if any 3D modelers would be able to do like a snake tail, but it actually looks like some of them could. I've been looking at some folks for like
she's
eventual
looking, guys,
3D
she's looking.
stuff. But yeah, like my everyday would probably be me sleeping in until like 9 or 10.
Sleeping in?
I have become a night owl, so I tend to stay up pretty late doing stuff. Maybe if I was doing this full time, I wouldn't stay up quite so late, but I know myself. I stay up into the late hours of the night. I'd get up, I'd have some food, have like a brunch or something. I would do a little bit of cleaning around my place, because right now I put that off for way too long. I'm just like, it's fine. I don't need to vacuum. And then I'm like, oh, why are my sinuses all plugged up? Oh, it's very dusty. Okay, well, all right, time to dust off stuff and go and do some vacuuming like a responsible person. I feel like that happens so fast. Like it'll blink and then I have to vacuum stuff. But I do a little bit of cleaning because having like a clean living space does like make my brain happy. So like actually having that would be great. And then I could see like what I've got set for the day. Like if I'm going to be doing any content stuff, like I might get some of that stuff done. And then I can hang out with Bear and we can play some board games together or video games, maybe like go on a walk or something and check stuff out. Ideally, I would like the ability to actually travel to a bunch of places because I think that would be awesome. I also know I have a bunch of very lovely fans from all over the place, and it would be awesome to actually like be able to see them at conventions and things, like talk to folks. I think that would be wonderful. But yeah, VTubing has become like a really important part of my life. It's like all of my creative energy I can express in VTubing. Like I get to do fun art, I get to do fun games, I get to write fun video essays and talk about stuff. It's like all of these things that I love doing separately, I get to combine and do together with VTubing. So in my ideal world, I would get to do this all the time. And it would be very fun to do.
And it sounds like if it does ever happen, you would just be able to flourish. You're one of the most consistent VTubers I probably have followed along.
So
I just
thank you.
I know the grind being a part-time VTuber, but on the full-time grind, like it's very apparent. So I'm always impressed by the grind and I respect it. So I thank you for sharing yourself with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, you are so sweet for having me. Thank you for having so many wonderful questions. I got to talk a lot about like VTubing and stuff, which was so much fun. I didn't expect to talk about like the random lab shit that I had to, but that was great. I don't get enough opportunities to talk about that shit, so that's great.
Well, if you would like to come back to the table for any guests, I would love to. I understand the live nature is not typical to podcasts, so I was trying to consider more of an offline recording session with guests. So if you'd like to come back, I'd love to be able to invite you once I get that all figured out.
Okay, for sure.
Yay! Yeah, just keep your eye on that server then. I'll let you know. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. This was fantastic. I had a bunch of fun.
Me too. And, okay, I say this with love, but yeah, it's time to kick you out of the tavern.
No worries, it's all good.
All right,
I'll get myself gone. It's
yes,
all good.
Ma'am.
You've been a wonderful host.
You too. Well, no, you've been a lovely guest, and I'll see you around, ma'am. Bye bye.
That sounds good.
Take care. I feel so fucking happy. It's just so cute. I need to also quit the collab now. Cool. What the heck? That was an amazing. I loved it. That was an amazing interview. That was one of the I've started inviting guests who I don't personally know, you know? So it's starting to approach unknown territory for me, and I was so happy with everything that happened today. I'm thankful of the chatters that came by to get to know Yumie better as well, and I'm also happy for my community for stepping in and peeking in on what's going on. So yay! The next guest. Okay, so next week we'll be on break. Next week is my 8-year anniversary with Grimsley. I'm not 10 years like Yumie and Ackle, but I'm getting there. You guys with your decades-long relationships. I'm so happy to see such happy couples. Right. So next week I will be taking a break from SmolTalk to celebrate that, but we will resume SmolTalk the following week on the 24th with Ghosty Girl Marley. If you guys don't know who this person is, she is an idol ghost girl VTuber, idol VTuber. Oh gosh, she is a Finnish idol who plays a lot of nostalgic retro games such as Legend of Zelda. Oh goodness, I think I saw her playing oh, thank you for your bed massage. I think I saw her playing Ace Attorney 2 at one point. She's just so cool and able to really just vibe out. So I'd love to get to know her more too. Minecraft, yeah. Is that it? No, let me go find her YouTube, Twitch, and then I'll send you guys off to the Twitch raid. As for YouTube, we'll probably go on ahead and end the stream here. So, YouTube, thank you so much for your side, and I hope you have a wonderful time until the next SmolTalk. Bye-bye, YouTube! Bye-bye! Thank you, YouTube!